today we're going to a spiritual healing center, and I'm in the middle of Rio Novo, cute little town where the spiritual center is, and it is I'll take you there. I'll film what I can. I'm not quite sure what I can film yet, but here we are down in the central plaza of Rio Novo in the state of Minas Gerais. Beautiful country. Kind of reminds me of Southern California, where I grew up. So we will have lunch now, and I'll take you back when I get to the spiritual center. But I just wanted to show you downtown. It's a lot of more of the old architecture, really beautiful architecture. Wonderful people around here. The roads were good too, and we drove from Rio de Janeiro. It took almost about 3 hours. So I will contact you later. We're going to have something to eat right in that restaurant you see there. Okay, we just had lunch. Here I am in the center of Rio Novo. Nice little plaza here in the center, small town. Not a big town. Show you around. Just had lunch, as I said before, in a nice little restaurant bar right there. There's kilo where you pay, per gram, right? Per 100 grams of what you're eating, so they weigh it. So what we're going to do is we're going to go check into the hotel, and then we will go to the center, which is the Chico Monteiro. I'll put links to that in this presentation. And I hope that this will show you what happens when you go to a spiritual healing center here in Brazil. I've been to this place. I've had actually articles. I've written an article and an update when I came here like 3 or 4 years ago. And I came here again about 2 months ago, but this time I'll actually film what I can. I don't think I can film too much inside, but I will film what I can and what happened, so you can see for yourselves what happens with spiritual healing. I believe it's real. There are certainly people out there that use it to their own profit and their advantage against the wishes of the spirit world. But there are also many groups out there, many healers, spiritual healers, and all throughout the world. In the United States, Canada, I've known some, and here in Brazil, there's quite a few. The spirit world is actually said that there's getting a whole new time for people to communicate with the spirits, for spiritual healing, for psychographing. This was big during the time of Jesus. A lot of people had this power, and then it kind of went down a bit. And what the spirit world said is they kind of gave that ability to communicate the spirits more to the Catholic religion, or the beginning of the religion, right, from called the Way, right, as after people encountered Jesus and heard about Jesus. But now we're having a whole new era of people with the ability to speak to the spirits and to help, to heal, and a lot of other things. So this is all happening in this era as we're approaching. Hopefully, we're approaching what Spiritists have said us. We're trying to start the beginning of trying to become a planet of regeneration instead of a planet of atonement. The planet of atonement is where we are here to atone for our past wrongs. And hopefully, I don't know how many years, I wrote a book, The 1,000-Year March. I figure it's about 1,000 years so before we become a planet of regeneration. But anyway, I will see you later. Now, before we go to the center is called the Parascientifica Fritz. Now, the spirit Adolfo Fritz uses Chico Monteiro, who's the person, Monteiro, I should say, is the person who actually is doing the healing, but the spirit of Dr. Adolfo Fritz is behind him and sending energy through Chico Monteiro and helping us be better, right? And, improving our fluids, putting harmony back, and then, hopefully helping whatever organs and parts of our body that needs help. So what you do when you first go is you go to this place, you fill out a form, you tell them what's wrong with you, and hopefully I can explain more once we get inside. Inside the place, so as you come in, you get a number, and then you go to the number, and you go to the booth right over there, and then you give your name. You can sign up. You can sign up when you're here. You can also sign up on the internet before you come here. This is where, after you're done, they'll give you like a little prescription. It may be holistic medicine or herbs or whatever. And also sometimes they'll give you prescriptions that you can just get in any drugstore. But this is where you can go and you can get that. You can also make donations. You see Donativo right there. You can make donations here. And it costs nothing. If you don't want to spend any money, you can come here and not spend one dime. But I always give, 50 reais, at least a donation here. Here is a picture of Chico Monteiro. Really nice guy. In fact, one time I was here 3 or 4 years ago, and I had just finished, and I told him in my poor Portuguese, "Thank you very much for being here. I'm from America." He goes, "Oh, you're from America." Because I have another person from America, and I met him, and he was actually going around, and he had like a iPad on a stick, and he was filming. And I said, "Well, oh," and he goes, his name was Elton, and he said, "Yeah, I'm here. I'm filming. I'm trying to see if we can do a life of Chico Monteiro." Then he told me a story that the reason he came here to be here and thinking about filming Chico Monteiro is that when he was living he still does live in Southern California in the film industry, he had met one of his friends. She had been diagnosed with brain cancer and had a large tumor in her brain, and she didn't want it. And the doctor told her that we can do surgery and two things will happen. One is you'll die, and the other one is you'll be a paraplegic for the rest of your life. And she didn't want either of those options, so she researched and said, "No, I'm going to go see, Chico Monteiro." And he said, "But I don't speak Portuguese." So she took Elton with him, and I believe that's his first name. I could have that wrong a little bit. And so she went, and she came here, and he said, "No, you came here," and he talked to her, and he said, "No, you need to come, I think, like 3 more weeks." She came for 3 more weeks, and then she flew back to Southern California, and the doctor said, "Oh my God, your tumor is so much smaller. Now we can just do it with chemotherapy. We don't need to operate." So that's one of the stories. I mean, one can believe them or not. I believe he was very sincere. He was a good guy. He had nothing, no reason to tell me anything but the truth. So these things happen. For those who don't believe, I'm sure there's areas where things don't work out for people, and I believe a lot of times spiritual healing doesn't work out for people because they are supposed to have that, right? It's part of their plan. People are sitting there waiting to go inside a room. I won't be able to film inside the room, but you'll see. You'll go there. You'll sit down. You wait. And then Chico Monteiro will come by each person. He'll stand up and he'll do passes. He'll put his hands around you. Sometimes he'll put his hands on you. You feel like a little shock sometimes, like I felt before. So here's the inside of the place. Hello, I have just finished coming out of the salon, the room where we actually, Chico Monteiro actually went and gave passes to all of us, touched us, like waved his hands around. Sometimes he'd put his hands like on your chest or whatever, or inside your elbow. Some people he hiked the shirt up on their back and did something on their back. And he would talk to people a little bit, say, what you need to do. He'd come up and say, how are you? This is all in Portuguese. He doesn't speak English. I took a couple pictures in there. I'll show you those pictures if they come out. I'm not sure yet. But what very interesting happened. Well, first, let me tell you this. So he would come to each person, and then each person has this piece of paper, and his assistant would take the piece of paper, and then he would go and get passes. And he would tell the assistant, okay, this person needs this medicine or that or whatever, and then they would paperclip the name of the medicine. For me, it was Astral, which is a medicine. It's it's a natural kind of helping for cholesterol level. Other people have other things. Some of them like herbs or medicines. Medicines you get at the pharmacy. Again, they tell everyone, see your doctor, right? Always see your doctor first. Come here to see if that helps. So the interesting thing that happened is he came up to me, and like he said, everyone else, well, how are you doing, right? Está bem, right? Which is Portuguese for are you good? And I said, no, I'm good. And he says, you speak German? And I said, no. And my wife was next to me. She says, no, he only speaks English. He goes, oh, well, Brian, and he called me by my name. He didn't. I've been here a couple times before. He's never called me by my name before. He wasn't looking at the piece of paper. In fact, the last time we were here, my wife and I were, it took us about 2 hours this time waiting to get in and and have them see us. And we said, no, we don't want to come again. We're not waiting 2 hours. And then, so that was about 2 months ago. And then we got in and he said, no, you two, you need to come back. So don't disappear. You need to come back. So it's like he knew what we were thinking. So, like, okay, we'll come back. So, but now this time he came up to me. Said, "Do you speak German?" And my wife said, "No, he doesn't speak German." It's like, oh, he's ignorant, right? And he goes, "Well, you speak Portuguese?" I said, "No, just in pouco. He'll follow Portuguese in pouco." And he says, "You and I've known you for 200 years, and we fought in a war together." Now, what does that mean? I've known you for 200 years. We fought in a war together. Is it important? Well, in the scheme of things, no, but it's interesting. It's an interesting point. I mean, it's not anything that you should be proud of. Or it's like, oh, I've known someone for 200 years. It's like it just shows you the complexity and the intersection of lives in the spirit world. How somehow we're all connected. Here I am, an American, born and mostly raised in Southern California, living in the Seattle area. Come here to Brazil, and here's a healing medium who says he's known me for 200 years, and we fought in a war together. Now, what war that is, 200 years ago, that was probably the Napoleonic War, or it could have been any war from here till whatever incarnation somehow we've had together on Earth. So it's like, oh, it makes you think, right? And then, and I talk to others, people here, and they say, yeah, and another person that said, yeah, he's known me. I was in a position of, kind of a civil military, so probably maybe something like Secretary of Defense or something like that during the time of war when he was in the war too. So, somehow all of us have come together, at least some of us, right, and who's known him before. So it's very interesting how all of us, all these connections. It's kind of like when there's like many disasters. There was a story when there's this building was burnt to the ground, killed I think about 200 people, and this was years ago in Brazil. And Chico said, yeah, those people died in that building in that fire because during the times of one of the Crusades, when they attacked the city, they came and they killed a bunch of people, and when they rape and pillage right into a city. And therefore, they were caught in a fire and killed in, the 20th century in Brazil together. Somehow all these people were brought together. It just shows you how the interconnectivity, I said this before, but it's just amazing, the tapestry of life and what we go through. And the fact is, and I've said this before in another video when I learned about my past lives, right? When I had my first communications, they told me I was put in positions of power, I took advantage of people, I stole money instead of helping people. And then, I think about a week ago, a medium said, no, you also had a past life where you chopped people's feet off so they couldn't escape. Which happened during, I actually read about that happening during, there was a war between the Romans and the Persians. The Persians captured a lot of Romans, and so if they couldn't escape, they chopped their feet off and made them work at a bench or something like that. And a later Roman historian said that when these captives were freed, it was very sad seeing them hobble along trying to get back to whatever city they lived in Rome. So, why am I saying this? I'm saying this because it proves that I was not a nice person, that I have been a complete failure. You could almost say I was, a bit of a monster. I was a monster. But in this life, hopefully I'm less so. I haven't tortured anyone. I haven't killed anyone. So I'm just saying that because it shows that all of us, whatever you think you've done, however hard you think you are on yourself, or however you you think someone else is so rotten, so evil, that anyone, the spirit realm sends us into earth on lives to teach us to become a better person. Somehow, I'm not sure how they've taught me to be a better person. Am I the way I want to be yet? No, but I am a better person. So all of us deserve a second chance. All of us, when you look at people you don't like, you think, well, in the future that person may be a great person. Interesting. Now we're sitting here. We're going to wait for Chico Montero to come out. He's going to give us like stones, and so here we are. It's about at night. It's about 9 o'clock at night. Everything was supposed to end at 7. Of course, they go till the last person's there. So there'll be a group around. The last time I was here, like 4 years ago, everyone made a kind of a circle around the benches, and he came to each person, kind of talked to some person, put some polished rocks, polished stones in their hands, and then at one time he took a scarf from a lady, held it, and then he made it smell like. And I was close enough. It was just from not smelling anything, it was just a wonderful perfume. So it was just amazing. So who knows? I mean, look, you can doubt this and say this is all bunk. Of course, that is your prerogative. I believe it means something. So, the main thing is to have faith when you come here. Now, I also want to talk about when you come here, and I've said this before, is that you need to have faith, right? You need to reinforce yourself. I would recommend before you actually go to a mediumistic person, a spiritual healer, if you don't believe in it, you're just thinking, I'll just try it. It won't work. I talked to some people here, and they said there was like 3 women. They came here just to see what it was like, and he said, "No, I can't help you. You're not really interested in the spirit world. You're just here, just kind of test this. It's not going to work for you." But he knew right away. He knew right away what was going on. So, I would recommend study. I've told this before, and work, and who knows. The spirit world wants to reward you. For the more you try, the more you understand why you're here on earth, what you have to learn, what's ready for you. Why do you want to do better here on earth? What's your motivation? I can't motivate you, right? The only one's going to motivate is yourself. That's why you need to read and study, get interested in this, take some of your time to understand about the spirit world. Hello, it's the next morning, and here I am still at the hotel, the Posada we were in. And so after, as I said, we waited around. Actually, I was one of the persons passed out stones. They're really like polished rocks. I'm sure you've seen these before. I'll put a picture up on what they look like. They first said a prayer. They said, we passed out the polished rocks. Chico Montero said a few words. Another person said a prayer, talked a little bit. And then we all went home. And we came back to Posada. It was about 10:30 at night that we got back to Posada. This Posada is very close to where we were in Rio Novo. So, and I feel good. Is there any miracle cure? No, I wasn't in there for that. I just went in there for probably general health and help myself and make sure I stay healthy. As I said before, they had me gave me the medicine Astro, which is I think cholesterol reducing. I took naturally one of the generic cholesterol drugs, but so I've been taking Astral instead. I should have my blood test done and see if it's about the same or not. So, and here's another typical scene of Brazil. It's the chickens running around. I heard those in the morning. There's a rooster over there. So you hear that everywhere here. So, so that's the experience. You come here, you get to beautiful nature around. Here's like a little soccer field behind me, so you can have the kids or you play soccer, what football as they call it in Europe and in South America. So if you're interested, here's I'll put the links down to Chico Montero's website where you can come. It just gives you one more aspect of spiritual healing, how the spirit world. There's things that happen. I'm sure there are stories a lot more dramatic than what I've told you of people who have been healed. Is it the power of positive thinking? Is it the spirits helping? I mean, certainly positive thinking certainly is part of it. You through your mind and through the help of your paraspirit, your spirit connected to your paraspirit covers your whole body. You can do more things that you can imagine to yourself by your thought process, by positive thought process, by getting rid of stress. And I just like to end with, and the most important thing I keep telling everybody is get rid of your stress. Follow your conscience. Right? My book, How to Live Inner Peace Through Spiritism, will set the steps for you because those were laid out in a poem by Andre Luis. I go through each stanza, what it means, how you achieve that state. And I believe that will make you a much healthier person. Why? Because you'll understand why you're on earth. You won't let the ups and downs of life affect you. So, I hope this has been informative for you. And I want to say God bless to everyone. God bless.